What's up everybody, it's your boy French Cooking. Welcome back to the channel, and this is Make Beats for Free on MPC. Today's free VST is Vaporizer 2 by Vast Dynamics. Now what I like the most about this plugin is the effects and those weird glitchy synthy sounds that you get out of the presets. So I'm going to try to use those today to make a trap beat for Baby Keem. I'm actually in Atlanta right now, so I recorded this video in advance. By the time it comes out, I'll probably be a little bit late to the Baby Keem beat making party. But hey, better late than never. Never late is better. Don't copyright strike me for that, thank you! Okay, so trap beat, Baby Keem. I like his stuff with that hard-hitting brass, and that's where I'm going to start. I have the brass instrument implemented in MPC Beats pulled up. And I'm going to start with a D minor triad, right? So start at D here, put your note, go up 3, go up 4. What I'm going to do next is add an octave copy of that bass note. So up to D4 here. And then I'm going to add the third note above that, or in other words, the 10th of the chord, because I'm going to be creating some tension in the next chord. Just going to copy this. And then, like I said before, we're going to be creating some tension by pulling this note down and this note down. Okay, let's speed that up a little bit. Let's say 145. Okay, I'm going to extend these. Not all the way, let's make it here. And then just take that same chord and repeat it, but this time make it a stab. Copy the exact same thing over. I think I'm actually going to remove this one. Okay. Copy it again to the second, to the third and fourth bars. And then here we can switch it up at the end. And as a final step, I'm going to go ahead and create lower octave copies. So just take these 3 notes, and then these 3, and hold Alt, bring it down. Oh yeah, this is going to be hard. I'm hard right now. Just one thing I want to note first, if you're using this instrument in MPC Beats, by default, the polyphony is set to 8 voices. So I'm limited to 8 notes in my chord. Now, of course, I can always change that if I wanted to, but lo and behold, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so I'm good. Now, of course, we can't leave that dry, so I threw on some effects. First is a lot of OTT compression, 50%. That's really going to help liven up your sound. Next, I have some delay on 1/8 note, a little bit of reverb, and then finally some EQ, and I really boosted that high end to make it shine. So this is dry. And now with the effects. Now normally I would layer that with a low brass to really bring out that low end. So I would use like a tuba or a bass trombone or something like that. To switch it up today, I actually have this foghorn pack in Spitfire Labs. And I selected the Brutalizer preset, which sounds, well, brutal, but I mean, how great does that sound? No effects on that either, just an EQ to cut out that low end because I know I'm going to be using 808 for this beat. Now to really make it sound orchestral, we want to layer it with another brass. So I have SINE player pulled up and I'm in the rotary sound pack. Under brass section, I'm using sustains accented. Rather than having the exact same chords as my original brass, I actually extended these chords here. So you're going to get that, I don't know, accented scooping effect of the brass. Watch. So together it sounds like. Really cool. Now I have my first instance of Vaporizer 2 pulled up. Look how great it looks. In fact, let me close out of the presets. Here we go. It's a nice looking synth. As I was mentioning before, the effects in this plugin are really dope. So I'm using the FM downlifter, which sounds like that. And I'm just going to lay down one note, just how that is. Let me just extend this to 8 bars. There we go. I'll just extend that to the end. You know what? Before I go any further, let me establish my drum bounce. For my 808, I'm actually following not only the bounce of the kick, I'm also following the bounce of the snare. So obviously the kick is going to be layered with 808. 808 is also going to be layered with the snare where you have their snare rolls and stuff. Next instance of Vaporizer 2, I have this simple synth. Actually, the preset is called Simple, and I'm going to find a pattern that I like. Okay, that's cool, but I think I can sauce it up a little bit. Oh yeah. For my 8th track, I found this effect that I like. It's called Memories of Bliss. Actually, it's under the atmosphere category, but it sounds like an effect to me. So that sounds really cool. I'm just going to use that one note. And we're at D, so I'll put it here. And I'll just use it across. Let me mute the synth. Unmute this. When it comes to making trap beats, I love me some choirs. So I had this choir loop, which I just time stretched and I pitch it up. I just put it in its own audio clip. That's it. Last but not least, I have this bass one shot that I'm going to switch to throughout the beat instead of the foghorn. And since it's a one shot and I'm only going to be using that one note, I can just go ahead and copy paste it into an audio clip rather than putting it into its own track, which I don't have any more of anyway. It's all about using your tracks and your clips efficiently because they're limited in this DAW, right? For example, earlier, I could have put my hi-hats in its own separate track, so that I could pitch them up, pitch them down, scale them up, scale them down, do a whole bunch of rolls, pan them, etc. But instead of doing that, I actually included them in my overall drums track. And I added a higher pitched hi-hat here and a lower pitched hi-hat here. So I can do those high rolls and I can do those low rolls if I want to, which I do. I also panned the low one to the right and I panned the high one to the left. I saved myself an extra track just like that. And I did end up needing it, so W. Okay, there's a lot going on here, so let me organize everything and arrange it and put the beat together. I think it's going to come out sounding pretty hard. You be the judge of that. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your week. I'll be back on Monday as usual, but until then, keep producing, baby.